Hey guys, welcome back to Real Life Scenario.
Okay, Dre, you took it up a little
You
bit
did,
on
took
that
it up,
one.
took it up right
I seen
there.
it. Little modulation.
Hey.
Brought it in a little higher. Very nice.
Hey guys, we are back.
Hi, everybody.
Back with another episode, back to a happy place. Welcome to all our new real lovers and current real lovers. We are back here at the table in front of the mic
Okay.
to talk about relationships.
Absolutely. So happy to be back. Always happy to be back. How are you?
I'm doing well. I had a good week.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cold week. There's a reason they call it cuffing season, right? Because you don't be trying to leave the house.
Okay.
And thank God now they got like food delivery services and everything. How many of y'all DoorDashed and Uber Eats and Postmated this week?
I know I didn't.
You didn't?
I did not.
Oh, wow.
At work, just because of team celebration type of things, but at home, I actually like when it gets really cold, I like to cook. I like to like buy food and cook at home and make some of my favorite comfort
How many
foods.
grocery store runs? Well, I guess when you're already outside, then sometimes when you're outside, you like, I'm just outside. Let me just run to the store.
Yeah, just two.
Okay. But if you're at home and you like, I ain't trying to leave this house. If I don't got to leave this house.
It's different.
And me and Bree live on top of a grocery store too. So it's like, sometimes we still be like,
I don't feel like it.
Nope.
I don't feel like, you know why sometimes I don't order in those types of things, like when it's really cold or when it's really rainy, because I feel like so many people do. And so they like change their prices. This could be an irrational conspiracy theory that I have, but it's like when you go to get a lift
yeah.
and it's raining, it surges the price. I feel like it's the same thing on the DoorDash. And like, I feel like they are putting the food prices so much higher because they know everyone's like, ain't no food in here. So that's kind of why.
That makes sense.
That's kind of why.
Yeah, a lot of times I use it for pickup too. Like I'll order through it and pick up and the price drastically changes.
Yes.
And we're not going to get into the whole new tipping culture of things now and everything. It's like they put you face it, and people not strong with that type of stuff. Like my wife, every time it gets them. When they flip around that thing and you looking at you straight in your eye at the register, is like, okay, so the money you getting paid hourly to be at the register
is somehow not enough.
It's not enough for you to just type the things in. So now I got to tip you extra.
Yes.
For that.
Yes.
And it's pressure. It's like they looking at you
just
like,
because you see it, you feel like, damn, am I supposed to? Should I? And I will when I have, okay, let me take this back. We're not going to go down this rabbit hole too far. But when you just give the basic service, like I come up to the counter and you're like, hi, how can I help you? And then I just order and then that's it. You tell me the price, I pay for it, no tip. But if I come up and you are like very personable, or you say, like, let's say I'm mulling over the menu and I'm like,
yeah, you
and
help
they're
me
like,
out a little bit.
Is it something I can help you out with? You know, some of my favorite things are this, and this, or what are you in the mood for today? I feel like that's earning a tip. That's earning a tip. But just the regular hi, what can I help you order? You're not getting a tip for that. Damn.
But sometimes I feel like I've been places and like there's a place I go, Flower Child, that's near my building, and they give you like a certain amount of pieces of steak, broccoli, all that. I feel like the times where I didn't, it was less, and the times I did, it was a little more in there. And I'm like, is this affecting my food now? And how much I actually gotta, like, goodness gracious.
Probably.
It's crazy, but
it is.
To other things, my week was good. I was stuck in the airport for 5 hours in Houston. And had to go from BWI back home. So that was an adventure on Monday.
I bet.
But yeah, we're here now. It's cool.
Yeah.
Great weekend. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yes. It was good. It was good. Obviously the weather was a little busy, kept me a little bit on my toes, but otherwise it was really good. Yeah, it was a good week.
Good.
Literally nothing too out of the ordinary. I'm really trying to think, was it? No, nothing too out of the ordinary. I do want to give a shout out to Bianca, who listens to the show. I met her on Friday, and her dog Maverick. So thank you for your support. Thank you for our moment and our hug. It was great.
Awesome.
Yes.
I have a shout out too, but I don't know his name.
Okay.
It was when I was in Houston. I was leaving the restroom. He was like, "You the guy that do the relationship stuff." And I always think it's cool when guys come up to me and be like, "Yo, you the guy, I like your stuff."
Yeah, that's dope.
We took a picture and all that, so that was cool. So shout out to him, whoever that was.
Yes.
I forgot your name. So going to our real lover review. I think we need to. This is a little different. Maybe we need to carve out something called a real lover dedication.
Yes.
Like we have a real lover review to where people talk about the show. But if you have your boo and you know your boo listens or may listen, and you want your boo to listen, we're gonna do real lover dedications.
I love it.
To where you could shout out your person, hype them up.
I'm telling you, when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. Yes, I love this idea, and please do it. We love, obviously. We both are like lit up just at the idea of this. So write in and give your boo some love.
So this week's real lover dedication comes from EJ. EJ says, "Hey, Dre and Rhonda. My name is EJ, and I've been a fan of the show since my girlfriend Brittany introduced me to your show about 6 months ago. When we first got together in July, she gave the show a shout out for everything you guys do, and she shouted out our relationship. It shocked me because I never had someone make me feel so special. So I wanted to return the favor, and I hope my message reaches her. I just wanted to say I'm happy to be blessed with a beautiful partner who I want to build a lifetime relationship and friendship with, that I love her for being supportive in everything we are trying to build. Also, thank you guys for everything you do. The show is amazing, and I enjoy the different topics and unbiased content you guys provide. I will continue to support and show love to y'all, and thanks for keeping real relationship topics alive. Stay blessed and loved, EJ."
Oh, EJ. Shout out to EJ.
EJ and Brittany, y'all.
Shout out to damn. Please do this. Please do this.
Real
y'all.
lover dedications.
This
I love this.
I just adore this. I adore when a man is in love, child. Oh, goodness. I mean, anybody.
Yeah.
But the fact that this man went to the website, went to the contact page, and wrote in to show love back to his girlfriend. And I'm sure when she hears this, Brittany, girl, you got a good man.
Got you a good one.
You got you a good one. Y'all keep us posted on the process. And if it goes there and you want marriage, please invite us to the wedding. We'll be there.
For sure.
We'll be there.
And remember, this goes back to a previous episode where I was talking about when you want people to act a certain way towards you, how to act towards them first.
So true.
And remember, I was talking about the 7-day challenge and all that. It's like a lot of times people are so critical of their person when they want them to do something. And I was like, sometimes if you just act sweet to them, they'll be like, man, like,
yeah,
this person's being so good to me. They'll start doing those things that you ultimately wanted, that they've been hearing you and know that you want it, and they'll try to return the favor in that way. Excellent. And this is a perfect example of like, she gave him a shout out and he was just like, wow, this is so special to me. And you know what? He returned the favor and said, I'm going to do this special to her. And then when your relationship is in the best place when you're trying to one up each other in the love and sweetness and kindness department.
Yes, let's do it. That's my kind of competition. That's my kind of competition right there.
Oh man, I love that. Thank you, EJ, and we wish you guys the best, EJ and Brittany. So now we're gonna get into our real life love scenario.
Let's do it.
So this is something that has hit the blogs a little late on it, but we still gonna talk about it because it's a good conversation to have. I'm referencing the article from Essence with Elizabeth Ayola, who's one of the writers that we referenced here before, just to help summarize this conversation. But it's around Jonathan Majors and his girlfriend, Megan Good. Yeah. So let me proceed. Jonathan Majors recently had his interview since his first interview since his guilty verdict in the case with his former girlfriend, Grace Jabari. The actor sat down with Good Morning America on Monday, January 8th, to discuss the verdict. And during the conversation, he spoke about his girlfriend, actress Megan Good, and referred to her as his Coretta, in reference to Coretta Scott King, wife of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She's an angel, he said to ABC News Live's Lindsay Davis. She held me down like Coretta Scott King. I'm so blessed to have her, he said. The relationship is still fresh, but I think I found her. Good happened to be in the background of this interview, watching Majors intently as he responded during the interview. Majors, 34, was found guilty of reckless assault and harassment by a jury within a matter of hours. During the ABC interview, he claimed he was shocked by the verdict and took no responsibility regarding any of the events that unfolded, aside from not exiting the relationship sooner. Throughout the trial, the actors have been attached to the hip with Megan Good, 42, appearing at every court date to support her man. And June 23rd, the Creed 3 actor was spotted meeting Good's family at Red Lobster. It was unclear when the couple began dating, but they seemed to be weathering the storm together. So if you didn't know, now you know. So throughout this time, Rhonda was choked up with emotion. Couldn't really, is trying to figure out what's going on.
Now you're making it worse.
So I know she has an opinion on this situation.
I
So
do.
Rhonda, what's your thoughts? First, what's your opinion? And could you stick with someone that you are not married to through something like this?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
like, whew, this whole situation is like, I've been just so confused by it since the beginning. I really have. I want to say I think that Megan Good is incredible. Like,
Yes.
I think that she's a great actress. It goes without saying that she's beautiful. I have met her before, and she is so nice and so kind and so sweet. And with all that being said, I was actually surprised to see her dating him when it came to the light. Like, I was just so shocked by that, because you really don't know him, like, and so to meet a new guy while he is going through a legal battle, whether you believe him or not, to me is irrelevant. You don't know him enough to believe anything, because you just met him. Like, I do think the relationship, like he even says it's fresh. So I cannot wrap my head around it. I think she's involved in, and he may very well be kind. He does come across as a very kind person. But I got very enthralled with that case. And unlike a lot of things that you see on the internet, there are so many other details to that case that don't necessarily bubble up to the headlines. And so a lot of people miss them, and a lot of people don't realize that some of the reason why the jury decided the way that they did is because there were things that had happened in that relationship prior that he admitted to. There's documentation of that. So it showed that there was a history of issues in the relationship. So to me, even if I had tried to date you, I don't think that I would be at the courthouse with you. Like, we would maybe be dating quietly behind closed doors until you get through this. I think it's a very private situation. It's a very private matter that certainly a new woman should not be involved in. And so it just blew my mind that Megan feels so comfortable being so stand by your man with a man that you just met, who at the time of that incident, he was in a relationship with Grace Jabari. They were breaking up supposedly, but they were physically together. They were coming from somewhere together. So you truly weren't broken up. And so how just a few months later, you're like, this is my man and I'm gonna stick beside him, is very, very shocking to me. I'm not here to judge, but that part is shocking. The second piece of it is from the case and some of the evidence. There was audio of Jonathan saying to Grace that, referencing that he wants a woman that is supportive and very revered, like Coretta Scott King. And he also referenced Michelle Obama. He said that to Grace in a disagreement. So just by that design, I do not want you referring to me as that, as your new girlfriend. I don't, because you asked another woman and there's audio recording. You asked not just a woman, you asked a white woman to be supportive, like two of our most statuesque, iconic Black political wives. You're asking a white woman to be more like them, which I know, again, you're talking about the support piece, but it's just, the optics don't make sense. Choose a strong white woman that she should be more like. You know what I mean? Like, why you chose Coretta and Michelle, I'm not really sure, because that's not who you chose to be in a relationship with. So to then take that and be like, oh, well, my ex wasn't Coretta, but you my Coretta. Nah, that's not a compliment. In fact, I'm offended. And when they panned to Megan when he said that, her face was like, I think she was holding herself together, like just trying to be supportive. And I think she knew she would be on camera. I think she knew that. She knew that they would be panning to her. And her face was just kind of like, I would have been in the back room with him, like, don't ever embarrass me like that again. Do not, because that is ridiculous. So I'm not feeling anything about it. I mean, I guess I wish them all the best, but Jonathan not taking accountability for the part that he played in this, not just he should have exited the relationship sooner. You also shouldn't have picked her up and shoved her in a car. You shouldn't have done that either. You shouldn't have been texting another woman while you were sitting next to her in a truck. You shouldn't have been doing a lot of things. So the fact that he took no accountability and now just wants to paint this picture like, oh, I'm a victim and my beautiful Coretta-like girlfriend is just holding me down. I just think it's a crock of crap. And I think he needs to go sit down. So you need to take a whole break, my brother. You do. You need to learn. Little tap, tap. Little tap, tap.
Rhonda read that up and down, didn't she?
Yeah, because I've had so much to say about this. And you know, we don't know these people, but I'm just not feeling Jonathan Majors. And I probably am amongst the unpopular crowd that does not think that he's a victim in this situation.
Well, I think it's that dynamic, especially first it depends on who you're talking to, right? When you enter into the Black community, Black man, white woman, it's always seen as the white woman was intentionally trying to take advantage or manipulate or, you know, especially some Black man of, you know, notoriety and celebrity and stuff like that, she was working a game on him, right? So there's less sympathy for her a lot of times in situations, no matter what happened, because it's like, you shouldn't have been with him in the first place.
Yeah.
But in reference to what you said about Megan Good, same. Megan Good, met her twice, and she's always been great. She was a celebrity crush of mine when I was a young lad, but she's always been great, always been gracious, nice. Every person that I've known who's interacted with her has said the same thing. So just an overall sweet, generous, nice person.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to this situation, that of course, you know, anybody could choose to be in whatever relationship they want to be in, right?
Yes.
And I think that there's something to respect about somebody who's like, I'm in this, and if I tell you I'm in it,
I'm in it.
I'm in it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so many people who fair weather with certain things, but it's like, she says she's in it, that's the person she dating, and she in it. Like,
that's it.
You gotta respect that, you know, the commitment of at least of that to say like, I'm riding out with the person that I'm telling you that I'm with. I don't know. And this article references it. I don't know when they started dating, you know, how soon, but we know that he is not too far removed from his last girlfriend. Anyway, so there couldn't have been much of a exclusivity point, you know, when it comes from their relationship. But I think also what could factor into this is that I know, you know, from the things that I've read, the things that I've seen, the relationship with Devon, that there was, because he and they collectively were so heavily in the church, it was this thought of like trying to watch every single thing that you do and how you act and what you say, and because you were constantly being judged, you know, in that arena. I think that there was something where like a woman accused or like try to call her out on stage off of like something she was acting in or the way she was dressing and stuff like that.
It was the way she was dressing.
Yeah, the way she was dressing. It's just like, it's like, dang, like every time I'm in these environments, I'm told you can't do this, you can't do that, do like this, do like that. And this might be this next relationship to where you just like, I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna just do what I want to do. Like, I don't care what nobody, because the last time I was in something, I was following all these rules and it was like eating me up inside, and I didn't want to do that. And it like, it was something I was battling with. And we know sometimes when you enter one relationship and something's an issue, you might go the opposite way with the next thing. It's like, so I think maybe, possibly, I don't know if this is the case, but in this situation, you could be like, I don't care what none of y'all think. I'm just going to do what I feel is right, what's in my heart, what I want to do. And if people feel a way about it, so what? So
be it.
So, you know, that's the most I can say about this situation. When it comes to their relationship,
I just thought of something I did.
Rhonda has
so messy.
Rhonda has more knowledge about the whole case and everything. I think that it's unfortunate because I feel like in everything we all have some accountability in things. And the fact that he is just like, nah, I ain't do nothing really.
Yeah.
And he was the one, if I remember, that initiated this whole.
He called the police.
This whole process anyways.
Yep.
So it's just interesting just saying like, I don't take any responsibility. So I think that that's something that he has to really look at.
Should have just handled her heart better. I was like, man, they didn't. His team don't really like him like that, because this wasn't. Or maybe he was like,
Well, he
I'm
seems
just
like the
say
type
what
of person that just will be like,
I'm gonna do what I want to do. Yeah, I guess so. The shady thing that I did though, I'm sorry, Megan. Come on the show so we could talk to you later. Don't take this the wrong way. Devon popped up on my timeline. It was just like a random, because I follow him.
Yeah.
And I went to type in his car, like send him a message like, go get Megan now. Go get her, okay? Go get her and fix it. I didn't do it though. Of course I didn't do it. But I thought about it. I was like,
you didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I would not actually do that. But it popped in my head and I was like, can you go get her? Please go pick her up. Go pick her up.
Because when you met her, it was both of them.
It was them, yes.
Yeah.
And like early on in their in being married, and they were very lovey-dovey, tucked off in a corner in a very big, loud party. So it's not where you would expect to find people. And it was just the sweetest thing ever. And they really just didn't even want to be there. They eventually laughed like, yeah, that's not really our scene. It's not like, we just kind of want to be with each other. So it was very sweet. I respect and understand that after 10 years, a lot can change.
For sure.
And clearly it did, rose to the occasion of divorce. But I thought it. When I saw it, I was like, can you go pick her up, please? We don't want to see her parading around with this man going through this damn case. I would rather just see Megan living her life. You know what I mean? Just not connected to something so public. And I think that's why people are saying that it's a prop. Like I don't necessarily believe that, but people are saying that like she's just being used as a pawn in this situation to try to help him look good. And I actually don't think it's doing that. I don't think it's making him look good.
But I don't even think that's the case. First, I met them both when they were together, when we did the Tamron Hall thing with them. But I think, Megan is somebody who's been in entertainment for a very long time.
Yeah.
Very similar to people like when I watched the Beyonce movie. Like, they've been in entertainment for so long that she's well aware of what's going on. Like, she's not new in this, and like, yeah, she knows everything that she's doing is a choice of hers that she's choosing to do. Who knows why? She knows her reasons for doing that and being okay with that. And if she's okay with it, then
we got to be okay with it.
We got to be okay with it. Yeah, we have to
let. She's a big girl.
Yeah,
she'll be okay.
She will be.
Devon, go get her. All right, sorry. Okay, sorry. All right, let's get to our real love scenario. This week we hear from Anonymous, and Anonymous says, hey guys, I would love your opinions on my real love scenario. I've been listening to you guys for a while and really love the genuine advice you give to other people. Thank you. I'm 34. My husband and I have been together for 10 years and married for 7. My husband is undoubtedly the best, but our marriage started off shaky and is still shaky years later. There were some things about my past that I did not share with him before we got married that he found out soon later. I take full responsibility for lying about these things, as he did ask about them. In my defense, I wasn't happy about what I had done during the time because it was not me and totally out of character. I was ashamed and never told anyone. At the time, I had a hard breakup and said, F it, I'm gonna do what I want. I was one of those girls who never slept with anyone unless they were my boyfriend. However, my mindset changed after that breakup. To add context, I falsely claimed I never had a one-night stand. When I eventually revealed the truth, my partner was understandably upset and hurt. He was upset because of the lie and because I didn't let him choose to stay with me. However, we've both been working hard on our relationship and things are much better because we are committed to staying married. That being said, some things still trigger my partner about my past, and we recently had a conversation about a mutual friend named Sammy. Sammy had posted a photo of the man's fiance with whom I had a one-night stand, and my partner asked if Sammy knew about the one-night stand. I admitted that Sammy did know, and my partner found it strange that Sammy was friends with me and the girl, but never had mentioned it to the girl that's in the picture. He also felt that I should have told him about anyone that I had revealed my one-night stand to so that he could decide how to interact with them. I didn't have much to say then because I was trying to process everything, but I'm now wondering if I was wrong to keep quiet. Do I need to tell my partner who I've told about my past, even if they're not directly involved in the situation? To me, it shouldn't matter if they're not directly linked, but please let me know your thoughts. Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you so much. This is a very interesting scenario here.
Took everything in me not to roll all of my eyes reading that whole thing, but we're gonna walk through it slowly.
Okay, let's walk through it slowly. I guess I'll start with the first kind of central point for this scenario, which I think is one thing that we're addressing here is the past versus the present. What has happened in the relationship versus where we are currently right now.
Yeah.
So Rhonda, first question for you: how do you determine what things in your past to share and not to share with your partner?
I only share the things that I think would have an impact on them. That's really how I reason with it.
Okay.
I had a life before I met them, and for the most part, I don't think that the vast majority of it, especially like if it was connected to people I dated or had, sexual relationships with, I don't think any of that stuff is their business. I don't. Now, how I grew from those situations is their business. Lessons that I may have learned from those situations, that might be also their business. But the intimate, finite details of the things that I did prior to them, in general, I feel like is not their business. So while I wouldn't say I am hiding anything, I just don't think it's your business. And it's also because I don't want to know. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, especially at my age and the age of people that I would be dating, I assume that you made some decisions that made you happy in the moment, that maybe not things that I would have wanted you to do. I guess. Like, I can't even really think of things that if my current partner had a one night stand, was a hoe for 10 years, um, I, I just wouldn't care. Like, if that's not who you are today and it's not having, like, you didn't contract something and I need to know about that. Those escapades didn't result in a bunch of children with a bunch of women. I don't care. You had a life and I hope you enjoyed your time doing it and you did it as safely as possible. I'm too old to care about that. And I also just feel like those things put like an unnecessary damper on your relationship. Like, you just start to mull over that and use those things to form a character about a person as if I am the sum of my past. I'm not. That just could have been a decision. And in her situation, it's like, dude, I slept with someone the first night I met them. Like, what are we really even talking about here? So I don't, I just, in general, I don't share very much because it's just not your business. It's not your business. Gotcha. What about you?
I think you should, there are two situations where sharing your past is necessary, I think. I think one is if the past is relevant to the conversation and situation that we're currently in. And two, if it's something reasonable, and I'm saying universally reasonable, that somebody would want to know before making a lifetime commitment with you. So like the first thing, which I think covers a lot, is that as you build and grow in relationship with somebody, you will naturally have conversations that will begin to reveal things about your past that's necessary for the conversations that you're in. So a lot of times if you're dating somebody and having a conversation, you're going to talk about, do you want kids? Have you ever been married? Like all these different things. So we should figure out during that time if you have a child already, or if you don't, how many kids you ultimately want, or different things that have happened in your past that way. And then maybe 6 months down the road, you got invited to a family reunion. You want me to come. Now that we're talking about the family reunion, I might learn a little bit more about your family, your aunties, your grandparents. So like, as we go through normal relationship stuff, the things from your past that I need to know to get context about where we currently are in this moment will naturally
They'll naturally
come up.
Yeah.
And then there are the things that I talked about that any reasonable person, if they're going to move forward in a relationship with you, should know. Again, like I said, if you have a child.
Yes. It's kind of important.
You should tell me that.
Yes.
I should know that about your past. If you have been married before.
Yes.
I should know that about your past. Like any medical things that could be like really, anything that if somebody was like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. that I should know. So I feel like those are the two parameters. But there's things that, for instance, that you'll have couples who've been together for 10 years and maybe they get into a situation and he's like, babe, I'm about to grab a root beer. Do you want one? I don't even like root beer. You don't like root beer?
Right.
You never had root beer floats and nothing like that?
Yeah.
And what I'm saying applies because throughout that 10 years, maybe whatever situation or conversation they were having never talked about root beer.
Right.
So then now this is
up.
a first thing with us.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't know that. Why don't you? I drunk so much of them as a kid, and then I got so sick that I just threw up, and then I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
10 years, just learn something new about you. And you'll hear a lot of married couples saying that, like, there's stuff I'm still learning about this person that I never knew. And it's because these things didn't come up. It's not like a hidden thing or keeping a secret. It's like we just never, you would think in all this time we would talk about all these things, but it's like certain things we never just got around to talking about.
Never got to it. Yeah, it didn't come up, and it just didn't. It didn't need to come up. The one thing I didn't mention as far as like how else I determine it is if I feel like you will learn it from somebody else, and it's something that I would have rather been the person to deliver the information to you. So maybe I met you through like mutual people, or we just happen to have mutual friends, and maybe there was some significant thing that happened 10 years ago with me and that mutual that with you now being in my life and potentially being connected to that person, they might haphazardly or just share it with you, not thinking anything of it. Maybe that, but again, even that, it just depends on exactly what we're talking about. Because one thing I don't ever want to do is to make my person feel like I didn't give him a heads up about something. I don't want my partner to feel that way. So that's the only other time I can think about it. And even then, that's not 100%. It's like you said, it's as it comes up. The conversation
and the situation, if it allows or means, and there's a need for me to give context based off of my past to what we're currently facing and dealing with, then I could do that. But if that's not the case, then I don't feel like I need to say nothing to you.
I don't need to. I don't need to say
But part of that, do you think, because I know that's a big part of the scenario, should your partner's sexual history factor into the decision to move forward with them or not?
My short answer is no, it should not. However, ... I think that if you had really high standards for your own sexual past, or you were a person that conducted yourself a certain way sexually up until the point that you met them, like perhaps if you never had sex before, or maybe you only had one partner and that partner was within the confines of a relationship, when I say a higher standard, that's probably not even what I'm trying to say. It's like when you have a lower body count, or you didn't have freedom, a lot of liberation in your sexuality. You really like, I only have sex when I'm in a relationship, and I've only been in 2 relationships, so that means I only slept with 2 people, or I'm saving myself for marriage, like I've never ever been intimate before. I think when you're in that group of people, I can understand why you may not, or why you may be turned off by someone who has had a very different sexual past than that. Like they were very promiscuous, or they were very sexually liberated, and so they don't assign so much purity and demure. Oh, I'm better than you because I've only slept with one person. I can understand why those 2 people may not hit it off, or why that person may want to know that information. But overall, once again, it's just going into that pocket of, what's it to you? You know what I mean? Like, what's it to you who I slept with, or how many I slept with, or what we did when we slept together? What is it to you if what I did has no negative impact on you? Because I'm just going to say it and be super honest. When you get to a certain station in life, and potentially an age station, but also just like you have certain sexual desires, like certain things you really, really like. I don't want a green person. I want you to have some miles on you, okay? I want you to have figured some stuff out here.
Go back to our first episode.
Okay, go on back to that episode. You better remember, Drake. I want you to have had some experience, okay? I want you to
Rhonda
have...
said she ain't coaching.
Like not, I'm coaching you on me. I'm not teaching you. I'm not bringing you up.
This how you swing a bat.
Yeah,
This how you
no.
throw a ball.
No. That's
That's the
too much.
basics.
That's too much. So I want you to have some miles on you. That's just me. And you may not have had to have a lot of miles. You don't have to be at the 100,000 mark. But I don't want you fresh. I don't want you fresh. Like I could not date a man who's a virgin. Like that would not work for me. I want you to come with some experience, as if I am hiring for a position, and I can't train you from the beginning. You got to already know certain things. So that if it's not, again, if your behaviors didn't warrant a ton of babies, or now you have an illness or STD that could impact me and I need to know about that, I don't care. In fact, again, I hope that you had a good time. I hope that you learned a lot. And I hope that those experiences are shaping you up to be, one, a great sexual partner for me, but also two, you are good to now lock in on a sexually monogamous relationship with me. That's really all I care about. I don't want the details. And I've been in a relationship before with a guy who like volunteered all of that. Like we would just be places and it would be a woman in there that he used to date. And he like, yeah, we used to, she was wild. She used to do all types of stuff to me. And I'm like, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't need to know that. So I don't understand it. And I just genuinely don't like it. And I think for women, we don't always feel comfortable being honest about being sexually liberated at a point in time or having a whole phase necessarily, because women are always expected, or some people expect women to always be so pure sexually, no matter how old she is, no matter if she was a wife, if she got 5 kids. It's like you really expect purity sexually at all times. And I just think it's antiquated and it's old, especially when you were a hoe. Weren't you hoeing? So who were you sleeping with? You don't think that they were doing the same thing? No. Okay. Yeah. So I don't like that. I don't like it at all. No. What about you? I feel like your answer is gonna be different.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, this is more, I guess, a philosophical answer. Getting into the real meaning of things and question of things is that I feel like, yes, your partner's sexual history factors into your decision, right? Sometimes it may not manifest itself just as like I'm asking you a question and you're telling me the answer, this many people, this thing. But like you said, you like somebody with experience. That's their experience is part of their sexual history and how they became so experienced in what they do. And that factors into your decision. And I think people have to also realize that when somebody says something factors into a decision, doesn't mean that it's a no for them. It's just something that they're considering when making a overall decision.
Right.
Like when I met my wife has been open about her being arrested before and jail and all that stuff like that. That factored into my decision, right? But I still moved forward, but that past thing factored into my decision. And I think when it comes to sexual history, those things should factor into your decision because that can be, like you said, something like an STD that could have came up through that. Or, like I said, depending on certain past things that somebody has done. Like I've heard people say, like, I've cheated on everybody I've been with. Like, wouldn't that factor into your mind mentally if somebody told you that? Now, you may still choose to move forward, but how you move forward might be a little bit different. Like that factors into your decision making. And then when I look at sexual history, I think of all the choices that somebody made voluntarily, but sometimes the things that were involuntarily done to them as well, right? And that could shape their view towards sex and how they interact when it comes to sexual experience. And I understand that unfortunately so many women go through things where they've been molested or even raped at times to where it's like sometimes they won't even tell anybody, but their view towards sex now is something that's completely different. Again, factoring doesn't mean no. It's just like taking into consideration, oh, like this is something that happened, because then that can help me to care for you in a certain way, knowing that you had certain sexual experiences or things. So I just think a lot of things in our past, like you said, it's just all decisions that we made a lot of times. And when we're making decisions about a future with somebody that when you look at the past, you have to factor some things in now, and you evaluate, and like I said, you may choose to still move forward, but factoring them into the equation, I think could be could be beneficial.
Yeah.
But I say that all to say that whole how many people you slept with, I don't see how that is a relevant question in the survey.
Nope.
To get the information that you feel like you need to move forward, right? Because there's certain questions that could help you have a better understanding to have the information that you feel like you need to move forward. I don't think knowing how many people you slept with, what you did with all them people, that don't got it. Do you have a sexually transmitted disease?
There we go.
That's sexual history, right?
Yes.
But I don't need to know how many people, who, whatever. And then again, we had a scenario about this the other day. Not saying I still won't move forward.
Yeah.
It's just factoring into my decision of whether I want to move forward. And I feel like I should know that information, and that should be factored in.
Yeah.
So I feel like we would agree on that. On those things. Like,
yes. And it made me just realize that, like, when you're dating, sometimes you think that you're asking qualifying questions when in fact you're asking disqualifying questions. And sometimes, again, when you think about it's a lot to reason and ration through, right? Like, you're trying to get to know the person, but you're also trying to discover potential hiccups. You're trying to get ahead of certain things that you may have to deal with that aren't that great, that aren't that pleasant. But some of those things you don't even realize are it's one of those things where, like, you just don't need to know. It shouldn't be important to you. You're asking how many people I slept. If you really ask people, those of you out there, really ask people, how many people have you slept with? That is a disqualifying question if the answer is not something that you would like to hear.
And you know, the truth of it is that most men will inflate it, most women will deflate it.
So you're not getting it. Like, how are you going to know the truth anyway? Like, you're going to hook them up to a lie detector test? Like,
but I think the thing, what you mentioned, which is just so true, is that a lot of us want the same things. So many of us want the same things, whether that's out of our jobs, whether that's out of life, whether that's out of relationships, but we all vary in the methods on how we get there.
Yeah.
Like, some people want peace and happiness. Some people use meditation. Some people use reading books, living by a beach. Some people use drugs. The methods of which to get there. But I think all of us genuinely want peace and happiness. Right? And when it comes to things in relationships, there's a lot of things that we just generally want to know before moving forward with somebody. But the methods on how to obtain that information, we all vary on. We saw one of the things on social media. If she listened to so-and-so and so-and-so, then that means she like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're just trying to find out the same information that somebody else is trying to find out by asking different qualifying questions.
Yeah.
But your method of determining if somebody is this type of person or that type of person is by the music they listen to versus somebody else might ask these other questions to figure out if they're this type of person or that type of person. So it's just very interesting how people go about trying to figure out the information. Because it's like, if you're asking me how many people I slept with, what are you really trying to figure out?
What are you trying to figure out?
Like, what's the, because maybe there's other questions if you're trying to figure out something.
Yeah, and just ask those questions.
Just ask the question.
Like you said, do you have a sexually transmitted disease that is uncurable? You know, like, do you? That's really what you want to know. Because if you're using the number of partners I've been with to assign a negative connotation to me, then that's what I mean by a disqualifying question. You're actually asking something to fully rule me out and or cast judgment on me when I am not the sum of my past. I could have slept with 500 people. But what if now that's something that I learned that it's just not for me anymore? It's not the life that I want to live anymore. What if I did cheat on everyone before me? Does that automatically mean that I'm going to cheat on you too? I get it, right? Precedence.
Is that a good qualifying question to you when dating?
Have you ever cheated before? I've asked it, right? And it's been certainly asked of me. I can't say if it's good or bad. But what I just don't want people to do is if a person says, yes, I cheated before, that's an automatic disqualifier, because one, they're being honest enough to tell you that they have. it's how they communicate it. Yes, I have, and I made bad decisions. It was a bad decision, and I really shouldn't have done it. I should have walked away from the relationship. That was not an appropriate thing to do. It's really how they explain what they did. It's how they talk about how they overcame what they did, because cheating is a bad thing.
Yeah.
So it's really that. If they don't have any accountability around the mistake that they made, then that's really where the problem is.
If you ask them, did they cheat? And the first thing they say is that person did blah, 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 and that person did, versus being like,
Yes. Yeah.
Because if they're acknowledging cheating, they're acknowledging that they were in a monogamous relationship.
Yes.
And instead of exiting it, regardless of the issue, they decide to stay in it and be with somebody else in that situation.
Sure.
So I think that is if you ask somebody that question and they start by this person, that person, this person, and not ever saying like, I did this, that's a red flag.
Even if that person did do things, so what? You still made that decision ultimately, and you were wrong. So it's about how you handle or how you explain how you made or why you made bad decisions, quote unquote. But yeah, I think that sometimes we get down that rabbit hole of asking these questions, not realizing that you're never even giving a person an opportunity to show you that they may have grown, that they may have matured. Maybe they were in a really bad place in their life. Maybe they just weren't old enough. Like they just literally weren't mature enough to know that this is not how I behave. Maybe they grew up in a household where that was very normal. And it wasn't until they got exposed to other things that they were like, oh, wow, I'm not supposed to do that. You'll use your own reasoning around what really matters to you. But I find that sometimes we prematurely remove people from possibility because we judge them off of their past decisions. And that's just really not fair, because when you think about your own, none of us are perfect. You don't want to be judged off of the worst of you. You want to be judged off of what you learned from that and who you are today, if in fact you've grown from that.
That's why I feel like you have to experience life yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because then when you hear about something that somebody else did, you can look back at your life and be like, I was there with you at one point. I done that too.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like I understand. Like, so you understand and can put things in context a little bit better when you've experienced some things as well versus judging somebody just off of the one thing that they did in a vacuum. Because that's the one thing with us is like, you can't judge people because you ain't far behind. Okay. If somebody were to reveal the different things in your life, you know, we could judge killers, rapists. Because I ain't doing that. But sleeping around and doing, come on, like, how far do we really got to dig for you to figure that out?
Please, again, you might be saying you a virgin and you not. How would I really know? Like a man. You know, I don't have a way of knowing that. A man has a way of knowing that about a woman. But how would I know? I don't know the difference between you sleeping with 5 women or 500. So why I'm going to ask you? That makes me really never mind. And it's funny because I feel like that leads to the next topic about lying to your partner. And I'm chuckling because I think lying to your partner is something that I don't care what type of relationship you are in. We have all done it.
Yes.
And we probably all do it.
Yes.
Okay. And we not going to probably stop doing it when it comes to certain types of lies. So Dre, are there any situations where you feel like lying to your partner is okay?
It sounds bad, but yes. If we are going by the definition of what a lie is, which is just not telling the truth. Yes. Sometimes it's necessary, but I think it should be the criteria that it should be harmless with no negative repercussions. Yeah. No negative repercussions, right? Bing. And think about it. Some people like, nah, lying ain't never necessary. All right, think about when you was a kid, right? Your parents told you, for a lot of y'all, that some white man came down the chimney and brought y'all gifts and ate all the cookies.
And he better had the cookies or your gifts wasn't going to be there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Why'd you tell that lie to your kids? That's a lie. No, we would just, no, it's a lie.
It's a lie.
But why'd you tell it?
Yeah.
It was, you felt it was harmless.
Yeah.
There was no negative repercussions.
Yeah.
You never heard of Santaology, you know, some type of disease to where some 25-year-old or 35-year-old is still in belief that Santa Claus is real and behaving in it, because you feel like it has no negative effects, right? Yes. And I think that's, you don't want to make a habit out of doing these things in your relationship, but sometimes you know your person. Listen, what time we got to be there, Dre? 8:30. We really got to be there at 9, but I know who take a long time to get ready. Yeah. So I ain't going to sit there and tell her the right time because I've
Nope.
been here before.
And here's the thing, lie to me. Baby, please lie to me about that so we can get there on time.
One thing that I learned about women, and I'm sorry if it's don't apply to you. I'm sorry. Let me not make absolutes.
Okay.
One thing that I've learned about some women is that it doesn't matter how much time you give them. The time allotted is how long it takes. If you give them 30 minutes, they can get together in 30 minutes. But if it's 2 hours, they're going to take 2 hours.
100.
If it's 4 hours, they're going to take 4 hours.
Yep.
The 30 minutes is like, boom, put this thing up in a bun, do my make, may even do my makeup in the car, boom, but I'll be ready. 4 hours, my robe on.
Let's just give myself a quick little facial.
Like,
curl do the extra layers of lotions and oils.
I'm going to put my clip-ins in, 3 outfits laid out.
You know, there was some coffee.
4 hours. And it's like, I just saw you get ready in 30 minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got it.
I am some women. I am some women.
I have to tell you the wrong time.
Yep.
So that I can properly make sure that we're there when we need to be there.
Yes.
And then don't make it, I'm preaching now. Come on now.
Come on, hallelujah.
Don't make it a special occasion to where
my
you
God.
gotta look good or look together. Lord Jesus.
You better tell me it's the day before.
Oh my gosh, because I gotta hide all the mirrors because don't let you catch one glimpse of yourself as you're walking out. I don't know.
Oh no.
You sure this look good? Nah, I'm just gonna take this off. I'm gonna. Wow,
Yeah.
we back square one, ain't we? Thought we had you.
Back to it.
I thought we had
I
you.
pray for y'all strength, Dre. Y'all men's, y'all husbands. I pray for y'all strength. You know, one little real lover tip. We haven't had one of those in a long time. Real lover tip to the guys, or just to people who are dating women who really take a long time to get ready, especially for very special occasions. Not during the time that they're getting ready for the occasion, but on an off day, we all just kicking it and chilling. Just have the conversation and say, "Hey, babe, listen, I love you. I think you're beautiful. You know my thing. A little sandwich effect. You know, I love when we go out. You always just look so nice. But I really would like to not be a part of the how does this look questioning. Don't poll me. Please call your girlfriends. Please get on FaceTime with your girlfriends and ask them because I can't win in that situation, okay? Fellas, y'all cannot win in that situation. So make sure your lady, or if you're a lady and you date a lady, make sure she has a good, strong couple of friends whose opinion she truly values and have her call them.
Yes.
Or send photos to them. Don't fall victim to being the partner that is trying to convince her that she looks nice because we really don't believe y'all most of the time. Okay.
Let me tell you the trick. What I'm learning. I'm learning it.
You
It's
learning?
real.
Okay.
Let me tell you. If she was 100% knew something was straight and looked good, she wouldn't even ask you.
Wouldn't even ask you.
It's because this good. If she's asking you between the two, it's because both of them ain't really
They not
working.
doing it.
They not doing it. So no matter which one you pick, it's going to be really?
Yep.
Why you think that?
Yep.
Nope. Ask your friend.
Ask your friends.
Go call.
Because we actually believe that our friends are going to tell us the truth. And we inherently believe that y'all are going to say whatever to get us out the house. Like, I have learned to just never eat. Like, I'm not asking you because you're going to say something like, baby, you always look nice. You look, hey, come on now. You look
like,
beautiful.
come on, man. You look
yeah,
good.
like, no.
Don't ever say you look fine because it's like, fine. That's it.
That's all? You don't think I look amazing? Like, I'm telling you, y'all aren't going to win.
Baby, you look fine. Like, come on.
You're not going to win. Nope. And this is when men lie. This is when they find the line to their partner is most valuable, okay? Like,
if I polled men, this would probably be the number one
that they lie about. I
when
tell
it
her
comes
she
to
look good
leaving.
all the time. My eyes be closed. I don't even know what she look like.
My wife do that all the time. You're not even looking at me.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Yes, you look good. Always. Isn't that what I'm supposed to say? That's what I'm supposed to say. I can't, because God forbid you say, nah, you don't. Why? You trying to say I look fat? Like, is it
my wife does. If I say, nah, I don't really like that, she sits in our room that we have for a closet. Well, I just don't got nothing to wear. I just don't got nothing to wear.
So, I mean, I guess we ain't going then. We're not going.
She's done that sometimes. Like, you could just go without me because I don't have nothing to. We got a room for a closet, like a whole room.
It's a lot of clothes in here, baby. I see stuff. I'm praying. I'm praying for you. Praying
The
for you, Dre.
strength.
Praying for you, Dre. I agree with you though. To go back to, is lying okay in a relationship? I agree with literally everything you said, and it just made me think of the term white lie. Like truly, the definition of a white lie is that you're lying about something that's harmless and really in general is unimportant. And I think those are okay. We are obviously not talking about heavy duty, straight up and down lies, especially things that are important and things that can get caught up. Like you can get caught up in it later. Like, so definitely don't lie. But do you think that omission is also lying? Because some people do. They feel like those are the same thing.
So not telling them something.
Not telling them something. Yes.
No, that's not the same as lying.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Because I think that with omission or not saying something or not sharing something, there can be actually good intent behind that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or just ignorance,
Yeah.
right, behind that. I think of like Adam and Eve, and they was like, don't eat from the tree because this gives you the knowledge of good and evil. Like some people don't really know, like, oh, I didn't know you even wanted to know that, or that would be something. Because in my mind, it's not that big of a deal, but
yeah.
I guess to you it's that big of a deal. Like in this scenario, it's like,
Yeah.
I didn't think that was, you need to know that Sammy
Right.
knew that. I know you need to know that, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that, you know, I can see in a lot of different situations, or I can even understand if my partner comes to me and I found something out and they say, I didn't tell you that because I was just trying to protect you. I could see that being a thing. I didn't tell you that because I didn't know that you even cared about that, or that was something that you wanted to know. So I feel like that's different than me asking you straight up to your face something and you being like, nah, nope, I ain't do that. And it's like, that's disrespectful to me. That's when they say you literally playing in my face, that's what that feel like. Like you really are like
playing in my face,
like directly to me. I asked you something directly and you tell me a lie. That's something completely different, because then I made you aware that I wanted to know that information, right? And that I feel like that information was pertinent for whatever situation that we're dealing with, and a need to know. And you still straight up to my face was like, nah. And I've heard people in certain things was like, I just don't want to tell you that. That's not a lie, right? That's just like, I don't want to share that.
Yep. That's exactly that. I agree with you. Omission is not lying. And I think in the scenario, what started as omission then became a lie, because he asked you directly, did you do something? And you said, nah, I didn't do that. Do I understand why she lied? I do, especially when you think about what's now happening, how he's responding to it, and that basically in a roundabout way, he kind of said like, you took his option away. He if he had known that, perhaps he would not have chose to stay with you. Like you lied about it, and not having one factored into, like you said earlier, it factored into his decision to move forward with you. So I think that's really where you messed up. But I think being honest and saying that you don't want to share something, and even explaining why, because that's not I don't think it'll just be received very easily. If I ask you a question, I want to know. And if your response is, I don't want to share that, especially if it's something, you have to explain why. And even if that why is, I am afraid that if I share the truth, which will probably inherently reveal the answer, but it's like, I feel like this is a topic that could cause dissension in our relationship, or it's something that if I share it, I'm fearful that you might judge me, or I've been judged before by answering that question. And I know that will again probably still lead to the, oh, so you did do it. It probably will. But I think when your person knows that it's going to make you uncomfortable to talk about it, and it also makes you fearful of their response to it, I think it can be received a bit better. I really, really do. Because if it's not comfortable for you, like she said, she's being hard on herself about even having a one night stand. She's like, that's just not me. It's out of my own character. So it's already something that like, she seems a little embarrassed about doing, which I don't think is embarrassing, but it's her own, it's for her to feel how she feels about herself. But I think when you already feel your own embarrassment, you're already being your harshest critic to you about your decision. The last thing you really want is for the person that you probably love the most, who you want to think the highest of you all the time, you really don't want them doubling it up. Like, I feel bad enough. I don't need you looking at me like, damn, so you really just slept with a guy you didn't know. Like, wow. Like you don't want that feeling. So while I'm not making an excuse for her lying, I certainly understand why she lied, because I think she probably had a sense of who she was dating at the time when she lied to him, that if I tell him this, it's not probably not gonna be good for me.
But the thing is that you have to understand, when you lie, it makes it worse.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes if you just tell the truth, then it's like, oh, okay,
you did
whatever happened, you did it. But when you lie about something, it makes somebody feel like there's something deeper underneath that than just the initial lie. Because why would you lie about it in the first place?
Yeah.
Something so simple, like, it may be this, and other relationships or something else. But if you would have just said, it was one of the worst decisions I ever made. I'm not proud of it, but
that's what I just said earlier.
I did do that. And sometimes that is helpful in a relationship. If I'm nervous about the girl I'm with sneaking out on me or cheating or doing something like that, and you told me you never cheated versus you did it once and it was one of the worst decisions you ever made, and like all these repercussions, and like, then that lets me know, okay, you tried that, you dabbled in it, and after experiencing it, you realize it wasn't all you thought it would be. That may make somebody even feel more secure in the situation versus like knowing that you haven't done it at all. But I think when you lie, what you're always risking is that when the truth is revealed and they find out you did lie, it just makes it seem way bigger than what it ultimately was.
Right. You're 100% right. And I think it also makes them think what else have you lied about? What else are you being dishonest? What other questions have I asked you? You did the same thing, played in my face, looked me square in my eyes, and just told a lie. So that is tricky. And being honest is the best policy. Isn't that what we learned in school? Honesty is the best policy. Is a part of this scenario where she talks about a friend, Sammy. It's crazy how you wanted to be anonymous. Hopefully, Sammy is not a real name.
Hopefully, that's a fake name.
Hopefully, that's a fake name. But it sounds like her husband. No, they got a mutual friend named Sammy, and Sammy knows. Let me take my time with this. Sammy is cool with
the fiance of the man that she had a one night stand with.
Okay. And the husband thinks it's weird that Sammy is cool, with you and the ex-fiance. I hope your husband listens to this show, because let me talk to him for 2 seconds. My good brother, I'm tired. Okay, and she's not going to say this to you because she's married to you, and you sounds like you're a great man, lovely husband, and I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. But you are way too far down in the weeds. You are way too far down in the weeds with this. Sammy being cool with your wife and that man that she slept with one time's fiance years ago, because you all have been together for 10 years. What? Why do you care about Sammy's decisions around being cool with your wife and that man's almost new wife, when what's it to you? The one night stand itself is already, respectfully, not your business. But anything beyond that, Sammy being cool with her and I'm just like, are you looking for a reason to have an attitude in this relationship? Like correct your wife about the lie. Okay, that is the only offense that I see in the situation. You asked, she told you a distruth. You like how I said this? I don't even know if that's a real word, an untruth. But come on, man, like this is too much. And now you're requiring that anybody that knows about the one night stand, you wanna get a list of those people who might know about the one night stand. Am I missing something? When people just running around telling that about, like, hey, oh, you married to Keisha? Oh yeah, Keisha had a one night stand 15 years ago. Like, is that what's happening? Is that what you're afraid of? That like somebody's gonna tell you that your now wife slept with a person she met the first night? Come on. Like, let it go. Please let it go, because it feels like you're reaching.
My question to Mr. Anonymous is, do you want your wife to be honest with you moving forward?
Ooh, child, I'll tear this room up. Dre about to cook. Go ahead.
Do you? Because it reminds me of parents, right? When they say, oh, this was going on with my child, but I never knew. Why didn't you come to me? I didn't feel like I could come to you. Because every time I come to you, you would judge me. You would push me down. So I don't feel like this was open enough to tell you the truth. Because I don't know how you're going to receive it. we're all now, y'all started when y'all 24. She's 34. So you're 10 years older than what you were when you met her.
Yep.
When she told you she lied about it and she told you why, babe, you don't got to lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
A one night stand, however many years ago, it's not that deep. The thing that hurts me more than what you did is that you lied.
Yep.
That's what hurt me. You don't have to lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you cheat somebody with grace in that moment to where I made a mistake because I was nervous on how you would receive it, and I even feel bad about it myself, if you handle that with grace, then you won't have to worry about a lot of those, mistruths or distruths in the future, because they'll feel more comfortable coming to you about it. But if this is the response,
I'm good.
What do you think? The next thing, or the next thing, then the next thing.
I'm good.
It's
you're gonna get lied to.
You're gonna get lied to
because you want an angel. So I'm gonna just give you all the answers.
Because what's gonna happen now, or then the next one, or the next one. And not saying it's right, but we have to understand that we have to create environments conducive for trust, for vulnerability. And if you don't create that, then you're not gonna get that.
No,
because those things are 100% built on the comfort somebody has with you and the person that they're sharing those things with.
Yes.
If they don't feel comfortable being vulnerable, they're not going to be vulnerable.
Absolutely not. And it's dragging it too much. And I know that, like, I do think that, like, giving your partner a heads up, right, about certain things is absolutely necessary. I've kind of referenced that earlier. I said, I don't want my person to ever feel like they're learning something from someone else that they probably should learn from me, that they would have wanted to learn from me. So I think embarrassing your partner in that way, whether you meant to or you didn't mean to, is just not a good feeling. But I don't think that this is what that is.
No.
I don't see it that way.
We need to put some stipulations around this, giving a heads up, though. So I want people to understand what this means. So first, my opinion on it is that you should give your partner a heads up. First, I feel like you should ask, right? So one thing I did with Bree is that I asked her, because what I understood is that Bree was coming from Cleveland, Ohio to move to the DMV area. I grew up here all my life, and we moved to Tyson's, to where I spent all of my adult life. The odds of her running into somebody that I've dated before are way higher than me running into somebody she dated in Cleveland, right? So I asked her initially, like, if you were to interact or about to interact with somebody I've been with before, would you want to know? And she was like, I don't really care. So that set the expectation for me. I asked her, was like, would you want to know? So then next, I still made it to be like, I have to use my discretion to know the dynamics of the different people that I dated, to know, even though she said no, if she is about to interact with somebody where I feel like the dynamic could be a little weird or off, or she's getting into a deeper relationship with somebody, I need to tell her that. Even though she said no, I'm going to protect her so she's not blindsided. So the thing is that, like, Bree is really good friends with somebody I dated, and that girl was in my wedding. We have hired a girl that I slept with in college to be a model for our business multiple times, and Bree loves her. I've told Bree all those things ahead of time, and it was her decision to move forward of, like, do I want to continue to move forward? I have not a weird, but amazingly just cool wife, and, like, down to earth to where she just be like, I don't care. But I feel like it's necessary to, make it known in certain situations where the dynamic can be off. Now, the rule is keep the details to a minimum. We do not need to know a minimum of what happened. I just need
please.
Even more than a clip, like, just as minimal
high
as
level.
possible. Because I've seen people who try to get into the weeds with describing, like you said, oh yes, shit, man, me and Shawty, boy.
It's one Friday.
Remember that thing I did yesterday? Yeah, that
got it from her.
You better ask.
Yes, thank you. You really should go thank her. Like, no.
Nah, you got to keep, because you don't want to know what you've been. I'm already a little uncomfortable that I'm interacting with somebody that you used to deal with sexually and stuff like that in the first place. I do not need to know what y'all did, how y'all did it. Like, just, if you feel like I'm in danger of a weird dynamic or something like that, just let me know, give me a heads up, and keep it like that. But don't go into detail with that.
Please, thank you. We'd appreciate it. We is me. Okay, I deeply appreciate if you skip all of that. All right, so let's give Anonymous our final thoughts on this. Her questions are, she really wants to know, was she wrong for keeping quiet, for lying to begin with, now that it's kind of playing out the way that it is? And most importantly, does she need to tell her partner everything about her past, even if they weren't really involved in the situation?
Yes, you were wrong for lying.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, right now, you're facing the repercussions of lying, which is that when you lie to somebody, they lose trust in you. And now you have, I'm not saying you have to, but you're kind of at the mercy of what they're telling you they need to then rebuild your trust, their trust that they have in you. So on the surface, telling him all this stuff, I feel like it's childish.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. What is that going to serve? What purpose does it serve? But had you just been honest initially, maybe this wouldn't have even been a thing. But now you lied. The one night stand isn't an issue. It's something you did in the past.
Yeah.
As long as y'all weren't together, and it was, that's its own thing. The lie was the issue.
Yes.
And now, like I said, we talked about it before, that Rhonda always said, when you lie, you break somebody's trust, you ask them, what do you need from me
to
rebuild that trust?
Sure.
And you're in this situation now. So although I feel like this request is not serving anything, if that's what he's telling you he needs to feel better about the situation, then telling him the people who know about it on the flip side is not that big of a deal. Like just saying this person, and this person are the only people.
Yep.
Okay. And if he's truthful and just saying like, I just want to know so I could know that they know and how I deal with people and stuff like that. Not that I'm going to be mean or angry. I just want to have an understanding to where it doesn't seem like he's going nuclear or anything like that. Or it doesn't seem like he's going to address the guy who's about to get married to somebody else or anything like that. Then I don't feel like it's nothing harmful in just being like, these are the people. But you can also have a conversation. It's like, I know I lied. And I understand that you're saying that because I lied, this makes you feel more comfortable about the situation. But you need to have a conversation about, all right, moving forward, how are we going to start to do things and address things? Because digging up everybody that I slept with or done things with, I feel like is not necessary. And the thing is that if it was a lie on top of a lie, I could see why he could feel that way as well. Because if you told him I've only slept with people who were my boyfriend, like you said, and then you say you never had a one night stand, so it's like the person that I thought you were is not the person that now you actually are. That's good. What he could feel like in his head, because it's like, although Ron and I agree, one night stands are, whatever. We all, it's part of adult life. But what expectations did you set for him of the type of person you were? Because you had to tell him you only slept with people who were your boyfriend. Right. If you chose to do that, that's a bar that you set. Yep. And if you didn't live up to that, that's your fault. Yeah. Because you told him that's the person you were. Yeah. So you can't get upset at him for being a little upset that the person you told him you were, the bar that you set, isn't the bar you're actually at. Yeah. Because that was you.
That's you got a good point. You have a very, very good point. Before I give Anonymous my final thoughts, I do just want to give in general the real lovers and people listening and watching just this very short piece of advice that I think in general, trying to understand the finite details of someone's sexual history just shouldn't even be discussed. It is a very personal experience, like who I slept with and how I slept with them. Again, if it didn't result in anything negative that's now impacting my life going forward, it's the most intimate thing. It's literally called intimacy for a reason. It is a very intimate experience. And I don't necessarily want to relive those with a new person that I'm probably sleeping with or going to be sleeping with. It's not for you to know, right? So like avoid that topic as much as you can and get to, like Dre said earlier, the questions that you really want to know, the questions that will really have a long lasting impact on our relationship. So that's just advice to all the real lovers.
And to piggyback on that, because sometimes you have to save people from themselves.
Yes.
Because you know people who will dig. So what'd you do with them?
Yep.
And you just gotta cut that off and be
Cut
like,
it off.
no, like I'm not.
We're not doing that.
Because there are some people who will dig and they want to know what you did with other people,
just so they can be mad.
Yeah,
just so they can judge you.
And it's like, I'm
okay. I'm okay. I agree with Dre that absolutely you were wrong for lying about it. Although I can see, like I said earlier, why you did. But I agree with Dre that sometimes
you didn't think you were going to get there, did you?
I did. But I did actually think I was going to get there on the part about like you do have to do what's necessary once you break that trust. You do have to do what's necessary to rebuild it. But I'm thinking about this old segment that we had, Dre. You remember bad advice that works?
Oh man, we retired that one.
We did.
Because it was bad advice.
It was. But here we go. But we're not bringing it back permanently. But I just have to be honest with myself about how I feel about this advice right here. Do you need to tell your partner who you've told about your past? Sure. Tell him. How would he really know if you're telling the truth or not? How would he really know? He's been with you for 10 years. It's never come up. In 10 years, it's like it never came up from someone else. It came up from you that you were lying. Sure. Tell them everybody knows, or tell them 2 people know. I just, what's really going to happen here? If you give him the true list of people that knows or some modified list of people that know, I don't think, unless you are just amongst a really weird group of friends that don't know your husband of 7 years, your man of 10 years, that they are going to be around your husband just talking about this one night stand. I don't know if the man who she had the one night stand with is like Jay-Z or something. I just can't understand why anybody would be talking about your one night stand, sweetie. So my bad advice that may or may not work is tell them whatever you like. At this point, tell them whatever you like so you can get past this. But the good advice, as Dre said, is don't lie anymore. Don't lie. If he's asking you and you don't like the question, have the conversation about not liking the question. Mm-hmm. But be honest, because when you tell a lie and you get caught up in it, you break trust, and that is very hard to come back from.
Then you gotta do stuff like tell all the people that you told in
like
the past.
He not even asking you to tell him if you had other one night stands. He's asking you to tell him who else knows about this one night stand. Boy, please.
So Anonymous, just to give a little quick picture into the man of a mind, possibly the mind of a man, mm-hmm. Where his head could be. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's this, you guys still seem to have some type of close like proximity to mm-hmm. this person.
Yes.
So that could be a little bit uncomfortable for
mm-hmm.
them. Mm-hmm. Also, men are more sensitive than women in the sense of like being played and looking dumb.
Yeah.
You guys can take it a little bit and kind of roll with the punches. If
mm-hmm.
we do it, if we get played and look dumb,
can't take
it. Yeah. Not one bit.
No.
So it's like a protection of like, who else knows? Mm-hmm. Who else see me? We all friends and I didn't even know that was a dude. What if I'm dabbing him up? Hey, what's going on, brother? Like,
yeah.
like I don't know who know. And they looking at me like, look at it. You see him dabbing up. Mm-hmm. You remember what happened?
Yeah.
Like, so that's just, I think mentally what he
might be thinking.
Mm-hmm. Is just like, all right. And then the dynamic of when a woman, I can't speak from the perspective of a woman, but what I think a woman, if she meets somebody her man used to deal with versus a man meeting another man that mm-hmm. her woman used to deal with, I feel like those dynamics are a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
Are a lot different.
I can't speak to it, but it's very possible. Don't embarrass me. At the end of the day, I don't want to be embarrassed.
So that could just be his mindset as a man, where he
fears being embarrassed.
Yeah, feels being embarrassed. So that's it. End of the thing. Just don't lie.
Don't lie. That's all. That's all.
That's the end. And
just keep working on your marriage. She said it's been shaky, and so there just may be other things we're unaware of. But keep working on your marriage. I think this is a relatively insignificant little riff mm-hmm. that you guys should be able to get past. Sure. Very soon. We appreciate you writing in, Anonymous. And if you want to write in, you know where to find us, relationshiprestore.com. Click the contact button. That's where you can write into the show. It's also where you can leave your real lover dedication because we want to hear them. And don't forget to leave us a review, a 5-star review. Like, share, comment, and definitely follow us on all socials. I'm at Ronnie Cakes.
As Dre Smith.
And at Relationship Restored.